You are
Hello.
on mute. Yes, yes, we can hear
Thank you
you
so
now.
much. Thank you so much. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm a little bit offish, but yeah, I will. My voice is not well, but yeah. So for this, I'm focusing more on the good day, the attendees and our YouTube channel visitors. So don't forget to subscribe to our Power Junkies YouTube channel. So to thank you so much, Mzi. It was a very wonderful presentation, and I'll just carry over whatever Mzi has already been done. But for me, I will focus on the .NET developers, specifically for C# and ASP.NET MVC. So I'm not going to because it's a due to time, I've already created classes and methods and controllers. So I'll just take you through those controllers. Yeah. Before we start, so MVC, we know that it's a MVC model, controller, and views. So I'll start to define our object called contact us. So why I've decided contact us. So the solutions that we are going to build is when a person want to send an inquiry on the website, because some of the website, they are based on the ASP.NET solution. So you will type your inquiry and then it gets sent. Complications with that to incorporate an email into an ASP.NET web application can be very tricky thing. Some people use servers from Gmail, some they use Outlook, some they use SendGrid, and there's a lot of complications there because you will find you try to use a Gmail a host and it get blocked because the network that you're within, it's blocking you from requesting the service from Gmail. So there are little bit complications there, but then now we're going to show a much simpler a way where you use and Outlook services from Microsoft Power Automate. So it's just to give you that to say the challenge that we're trying to address is it can be a little bit complications if you try to use other email servers such as Gmail or Outlook from your code. Now we are going to use an Outlook service, but using a low code, no code Power Automate. So on this one, so what's happening is I've created a model that called contact us. Then the model will have a name of a person who's sending an inquiry, the email of that person, and the message of the body, whatever he might be to say, I want to join the hackathon that is happening on Microsoft. So that is our object. So I will use the object so that at least when I go to an automate and when I show other things, it make it much easier. So we have properties such as name, email, and message body. That is our model. So I assume you are already an MVC person who know how to MVC work. So you know how to add a model. Then after that, you come to a controller. So usually on MVC, you will have an HTTP get method, which is by default the one when you create. This is an HTTP get method, which is contact, and then you will have an HTTP post method that accept. This one is when you load your application, load your page, because remember your controller usually is linked with your view. So the HTTP get, it will get the information that come from the view. The information, it will come in terms of a name, our object, if you remember our contact model, it will come with a name, email, and a message body. So let's go to the view and check how the view look like. So on the view, I'll highlight few things there that you can look at. Then to go into view is simple, you right click, you go to view, then it will give you an HTML as MVC, which is it made through Razor. So I won't dwell much into the MVC, but the one thing that we need to bear in mind is the method. When you submit this information, it will go to contact, it's home, and it's a form of a method as a post. So I indicate when you submit this form, which will go in form of an object, I want you to go to a home controller and to a method called contact us. So these are very important to indicate. So our usually with MVC, you can use MVC or the ASP.NET MVC to create your views automatically. You just create it using your model. My model is contact us. And then when I was creating the view, I just created easily, then it mapped it automatically, only this key information that I've added. Then after I've added this information, usually it's automatically added. So nothing, I didn't add anything. Mzi, remember when he was doing his own presentation on the view, he played around with some JSON script or JavaScript. But for me here, I'm not playing with the thing. I'm going to go on the server side. So the information that comes here, it will go to a method called contact. But the HTTP post. So that method, when I say when you submit the form, go to this HTTP post method. So what is the parameter that it submit? It accepts the whole form, or it accepts the whole core, or what we call a model or an object that has your name, that has your email, that has the message body. Then here I was checking the state is for more of the validation if the name, email, or the message body is added. It was validating there because now I'm going to deal with my application because I'm going to use an API or another client services that is hosted on the Microsoft Power Automate. So I'm going to use an object called HTTP client. So you usually use this object when you are dealing with APIs. So for you to be able to import it, you will see we have the library to access that HTTP client. It calls system.net HTTP. So I will just comment it so that you can see. If you don't highlight, then you see it disappears. So usually, if you experiment, you try to watch this YouTube video and then you try to look to say, how do I access that class? You simply have to bring this library called system.net.http. So yeah, then let's highlight it back. Then you see it's coming. So this client is going to give us the method that will enable us to connect with an API or another service that come from a different application, so different host. So after I've done that, then I had to indicate what content do I need to send to another client. So the clients that we're going to send to it, we know that it's a Microsoft Power Automate. So then I need to indicate what type. I need to convert the content from my view. Remember, it will come as a package of name, name, email, and message body. I need to take that information and convert it into a format that client will be able to accept. Usually APIs, they accept the JSON script. So now here I have to convert this information or the C# at the moment, it's more on the C# format, in a format that MVC understand, or any ASP.NET format that it understand. But now I need to send it to another client, and to do that, I had to convert it into a JSON script. This is where you see I convert it into a JSON script. Then I call this method serial object. This is whatever that I convert. This model, it comes from the view, then is the one that I converted into a JSON script. Then I encoded. This is the format that I take into it, which is UTF-8. And then this one, I just have to put this part of converting it. Then after that, then I need to have a response. I need to check that whatever that I've sent it, was it able to give me what type of a message it gave me? Was it successfully sent it or was not successfully sent it? Then that's why that HTTP message is important, because I'm using asynchronous methods that I call. You can use unsynchronized, but I use the synchronized here. So the clients that I have initiated it, now I'm calling it, now I'm about to use, then what type of API that I'm calling it? A post. It's an API that is going to accept information from my application, which is the contact us. then send it to where? To Microsoft Power Automate. You saw on the presentation that MZ was doing, after he created the schema, it gave him a link. That link is the one that he will use to communicate. Then this link is the same. After you have created a flow, you have created a schema, then it will give you this kind of an API link. So remember, the schema, the way you create, it has to fit with the type of data that you want. So you should assume that the schema that I am going to create on my HTTP request on Power Automate should be able to match this information that come from this application. So then you copy this URL, you paste it here, then this is the content that we are passing. This content, remember, it has already been converted into a JSON script and is been passed to this URL, which is the API. Then if it's successful, then we'll indicate the response. It will be based what type of information that come. Was the clients that where we send it able to be successful, or there was an error. If it was successful, then we'll get this message. Message was sent successfully. If it failed, then it will give us that an error message based on whatever challenges that it faced. Some challenges might be fire wall that is blocking, then it will give you that. So that's how it look in terms of my MVC. Then let's go to the Power Automate. So yeah, let's okay. Then this is the Power Automate. You saw MZ followed it. He has already taken you through how do you add those connectors. Then I've added my connector. Then this URL that is here, it was the one that I will send to the application that I was doing that will collect the information. Then this is how the schema look like. This information, remember, of the schema need to match whatever information that was created on my thing, on my web application MVC. So you had a name, you have an email, which is type string, type string, type string. And if you check it here on my thing, all are type string, type string, type string, type string. So that's how it looks. So MZ already took you that. Then I have to indicate, because remember it's an HTTP post. It accepts information that is already been processed by GET. Then now we are posting it back. Then after posting it back, then what do I do with that information? I'm going to send an email. Then at the moment, I'm going to send email to this email address. Then what will be the subject? It will be the name of a person who's submitting the thing. If I submit Somelez, it will be Somelez request. Then it will say, dear technician, Somelez has sent the following request. And then what is about the thing? He wants to join the hackathon. Then that's best regard. So that was it. Then now I'm going to pilot it. I'm going to run my application. So I will go to this contact, then I will run it, my MVC application. So now it's still loading. So while it's still loading, drop the questions that you may want to know. So as I say, the exercise that I was doing was more of the people who are dealing with hardcore developer who understand MVC and want to know how can you tap into low code, no code. So it has loaded, then I'll say Somelez, then the email is, I'll write Somelez, Tico. Then I'll say, I want to join the hackathon. So this email will be sent to Fanie. Then if you submit, then it has to say successfully submitted there. So then it says successfully submitted. So then, yeah, it means the email is sent successfully. Then if you check it, there, here it is. It says, Somelez request, dear technician, Somelez has sent the following me, say, I want to join the hackathon. So yeah, that was quick and simple. So yeah, thank you so much.